Millions of Americans are about to get a wake-up call because in 2026, Social Security could face one of the most dangerous turning points we have seen in decades. And this is going to cripple many people. We know that the Social Security cost of living is shrinking. It's getting smaller. The Social Security fund is drying up. That is a huge problem. And then on top of everything, nobody wants to admit that these cuts are closer than anybody wants to believe. It's happening. We are going to see these cuts. So if you currently rely on Social Security benefits or you are expecting Social Security benefits to be around in the next 5 to 10 years, well, this is a video you need to watch because what I'm going to tell you is going to shock you. And this is going to hurt millions of people. But again, I'm here to give you the facts, tell you what's actually happening, not just tell you let's hope and pray for a good outcome. Because honestly, if we're waiting around for Congress to solve the Social Security crisis, well, we could be waiting for a very long time. So we're going to address what is happening to Social Security in just a moment. But if you enjoy these videos on Social Security, go ahead, hit that like button. And now let's begin. So here we go. Here's the first piece of the puzzle. The Social Security cost of living adjustment for 2026. What is it going to be? Well, that's the big question. And come October 15th, we're going to have an answer. But here's the problem. The increase to the Social Security, your Social Security benefit, a lot of that's going to be eaten up by Medicare. Keep that in mind. Look at this. Here's the cost of living adjustment projection. It said it is now expected to be around 2.7 to 2.8%. This year in 2025, it was 2.5%. That means the average retiree is going to receive about $2,008 per month. It's a 2.7% increase. It translates to about $54 per month more. That's a very small increase, but at least it's an increase. So that's the first thing you need to know. That's the first key bit of information, is that the cost of living adjustment is going to be by 2.7 to 2.8%. We are expecting inflation for 2026 is going to be up over 3%. So inflation is going to be higher than your cost of living adjustment. That's the first scary truth, is that the expectation is that inflation will be higher than your cost of living adjustment. So even your benefit increase alone will not cover inflation. That's a huge concern because all of 2025, we have seen a cost of living adjustment of 2.5%. But what's inflation? It's up over that. That's a problem when you are counting on this benefit, which is essentially less than inflation. That's a huge issue. So that's the first scary truth about Social Security in 2026. The second one, and it's a big one, the solvency issues. The Social Security Trust Fund is projected to become insolvent by 2033 or 2034. The expectation is that it will be in December of 2033. That's 8 years away. Here's the reason why this is an issue. This is an issue because we get the money for the Social Security Trust Fund through Social Security taxes. Guess who pays taxes? Anybody that works. Anybody that owns a business, you're paying Social Security taxes. Here's the issue. According to the Federal Reserve just the other day, we learned that one of the problems with employment these days is that many immigrants are losing their jobs and they're being sent back to their home countries. So we are going to lose out on immigrants working and paying into Social Security. Guess who that hurts? Social Security recipients. That's who that hurts. So again, another scary truth about Social Security is there is going to be less money going into Social Security simply because there's less workers. Here's the other fact, that when we see an increase in wages, that also means more money goes into Social Security because we get taxed a percentage. We get taxed 12.4%. This is 6.2% from the employee, 6.2% from the employer. 12.4% goes into Social Security Trust Fund. The issue there is we aren't seeing wages go up as quickly as they should. So we are seeing less money go into the Social Security Trust Fund. Here's the next thing, and this is probably one of the biggest ones. Everybody's talking about Social Security. Lawmakers are talking about how we're supposed to provide a benefit to those that are about to retire or have retired. How are we supposed to help them out? And so I bring this up because I've talked to many people. I've talked to people that have conversations with those that are making these decisions. I've talked to several aides to lawmakers, and they're all saying the same thing, that Social Security is still a high priority. However, there's other things that are taking precedence over that. For instance, Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill. That was taking priority over any talks of Social Security. We now know that as of today, dealing with this government funding bill, which we could see a shutdown in just 10 days, 11 days. As soon as October 1st hits, if the Senate and the House do not reach an agreement, don't pass a bill, which the House passed a version of a government funding bill or a CR, a continuing resolution, if you will. They passed that today, but it's seemed as unlikely to pass in the Senate. So right now, it's not about Social Security. It's about dealing with this government funding bill for fiscal year 2026. Guess what happens after they pass this continuing resolution? It's expected to only go back into November 21st. That means it's going to give them about 2 months to figure this out. You know why it's the problem? Because that means, are we going to talk about Social Security over the next 2 months? Lawmakers probably won't, because they're going to be too busy dealing with this, dealing with what's a continuing resolution, but trying to find a common ground for a full funding bill for fiscal year 2026. So the scary truth about Social Security in 2026 is that we may push this all the way back. We may not get any answers until 2027, potentially 2028. Because keep this in mind, I said this earlier this year, that lawmakers aren't going to pass a bill, or highly unlikely to pass a bill in 2026 that is going to look like a win for one party versus the other. And they won't do that because 2026 is a midterm election. They are not going to pass a bill, especially Republicans aren't going to pass a bill if it looks like Democrats are the ones that crafted it. You think Democrats are going to jump on board and pass a bill and help Republicans out if it's going to benefit Republicans? No, because it's a midterm election. So then we'll have to wait till 2027. Well, in 2027, according to reports, there's going to be other things that need to be addressed. But are we going to see the same thing? Are we going to see Republicans hold the majority? They're going to have all power. Currently, Republicans have the president, they have the Senate, and they have the House. Well, after the midterm election, will Republicans they'll still have the presidency, but will they still have the majority in the Senate and the House? That's the big question. So 2027, we still may not get anything done. And you think anything's going to happen the final year of Trump's presidency, of his second term? No, it's highly unlikely. So the sad truth about 2026 for Social Security is that we are going to see a lot of questions. We're going to see a lot of seniors that are going to struggle over the next year because of inflation and their very small cost of living adjustment. But are we going to see any large increases? Most likely not. Are we going to see any type of Social Security reform? Most likely not. So Social Security as we know it, based off what we're hearing, is going to start taking this downhill approach. And that right there is going to be crippling for many seniors. So I'll leave you with that. But if you have any insights as to what is going on with Social Security, if you've heard anything and want me to check in on it, let me know down in the comment section below. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.